Almost a month ago, I built this 100-gallon paludarium for my firebelly toads, which, if you remember, aren't actually real toads. Anyway, the unthinkable happened. A couple of weeks after the build, a leak started. I thought it was coming from the top of the tank, so I drained it and refilled it with a smaller amount of water, but I was wrong. Another week went by, it held water, and then the bottom gave out. Completely. So that pretty much forced my hand into rebuilding the entire paludarium, but this time on a smaller scale. And honestly, I like to think there are blessings in everything. This was definitely one of those. That 36-18-36 enclosure was just too big for my pair right now. My eyes were bigger than they should have been. Or like the old saying, your eyes were bigger than your stomach. I don't know if that makes sense in this right now, but yeah, you get the point. Anywho, we'll talk a little later on about why this new enclosure I feel like is perfect for my toads. Well, my frogs. But for now, let's begin the rebuild. This is the new 36-18-18 paludarium. I started by tearing down the old enclosure and getting all the animals out safely. Our firebelly toads seem to be doing very well and in my opinion have grown a little bit. Now, ironically enough, the new enclosure had what seemed like a small little leak. So I went ahead and resealed it just to be safe and then got started on the backdrop. Now you guys know I've been addicted to waterfalls these last few builds, and that stands true with this one. I wanted the waterfall to sit perfectly centered, so I built an egg crate shell to act as the main structure. This centerpiece sets the entire height of the water line. With my egg crate built, I then checked on my land portion before foaming in the background, just to make sure I didn't need to order any extra materials overnight. While the backdrop cured, I prepped my foam pack, soaked it, dried it for about 20 minutes, then later we'll cut it to size, which I'll show you how all that works. But I went ahead to configure my land platforms to hold substrate within the paludarium using geofilter and window screen. I've explained this in another video, which you can click the link right above, and it'll explain how I do this. But super simple nonetheless. I also went ahead and screened the white egg crate that is going to be acting as our waterfall, so the filter wouldn't clog with gunk. Now that the technical stuff is out of the way, it's time to begin with the fun part. Placing my land portions in, I wanted to assure that they wouldn't sink in once I started adding substrate, rocks, and possibly any other thing that might be heavy. So I supported them with bricks underneath. And I learned something important. I definitely need more clips next time. And by clips, I mean the clips attached to this platform that I got on Amazon. But I would love to have more of those so that I'm not using heavy bricks and or rocks to hold this substrate up. Anything to make my builds in the future as light as possible but still have great function is my challenge. But getting back to that filter foam that I cut to size, it was now time to add that in. Now the purpose of the filter foam in this build to create a gradual decline into the water, kind of like an embankment. And if you look behind the filter foam, you'll see that I applied a window screen so that any loose substrate could not get behind there. Also, to assure that my foam doesn't float away or do any kind of nonsense, I went ahead and just glued that down to the screen so that it would stay permanent. Now, when I mentioned that I wanted a waterfall in this build, I don't want it to be a crazy exaggerated waterfall, as firebelly toads don't really like a lot of crazy water movement. They're pretty fragile, and any kind of water movement can cause them to swim terribly or just do something that they don't want to do. And so I want my quote-unquote waterfall to be more of like a moving creek. Now, in order to accomplish this, it took a lot of substrate and leveling out. I needed my middle portion, aka my moving stream, to be a little bit more elevated than the actual quote-unquote pond floor. That way, the creek-like system has something to flow down into. Again, using the laws of gravity. Now, when I initially made this build in my head, I didn't see myself using any of these slabbed rocks, but they turned out being a huge asset, and I'm happy that we brought them along. And that's just the beauty of making vivariums, is simply coming up with an idea in your head and just simply putting pieces together. I always say, if you can just get the skeleton right, which is your platforms, and sponge filters, and after that it's kind of just letting the dice roll the way they roll and praying that it comes out nice on the back end. Now, as I waited on the water to fill up the Paludarium, I wanted to go ahead and start mixing up my substrate, which is 3 simple things, which is organic soil, sand, and peat moss. This substrate will help with providing nutrients while also allowing the water to drain properly. And as always, if you guys are interested in the plants that I am using for this Paludarium, please let me know down in the comments. In the last video, I had someone ask me which plants I used, and I gladly supplied those. I possibly will begin putting those in my description down below. If that's something you guys are interested in, please just let me know. So far, it's just been one person, and so right now we're just doing it on a case-by-case thing. But yeah, you know, I just don't want to do extra work if it's not benefiting anybody. After adding in some botanicals, it was finally time for the moment we've all been waiting for. Now, I know this build is not some elaborate build, and honestly, I'm okay with that. I am happy with just taking steps towards building bigger and better enclosures. And I'm extremely grateful for you guys showing the love that you guys have been on the last couple of videos. This has been a project that I have enjoyed making, not just this one, but my other enclosures as well, and I have so many more to go. But to be quite frank with you, it doesn't really matter whether I like it or you like it. It matters if my firebelly toads like it. So let's add them inside their new Paludarium.
You don't want to leave. Come on, guys. You gotta get out. You gotta get out. This is a bigger home. There you go. Come on.
Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, be sure to leave a like and comment down below and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. All of your support goes a long way in helping me continue builds like this and help continue my passion for building elaborate enclosures and giving my animals the best of the best. And truly, a simple thumbs up, like, goes a long way. But my firebelly toads have been enjoying their new vivarium, Paludarium, and I can't lie, I think I love it a little bit more than the first one. I can see my frogs a lot more, they're out a lot more, and the escape is not swallowing them, which is awesome because I get to see their personality. They've already been eating a lot for me, little pinhead crickets. If you really want to see them in full action eating these little pinheads, please follow me on Instagram at GWRL. That's where I post a lot of behind the scenes and just day-to-day content. In the meantime, again, I appreciate you guys so much for all the love and support. And never forget, God loves you, and so do I. Spread love, not hate.